Hello, welcome to Quackalope, and today I want to talk to you about the easiest way that I've found to both learn and play Magic the Gathering or the Pokemon trading card game. Now, I'll be 100% honest with you, and if you've been watching my channel, you know that I'm brand new to both Magic and Pokemon. I used to collect Pokemon when I was young, but I just put out a video probably less than a month ago that was my first ever gameplay, my first ever attempt at playing the Pokemon trading card game. And then about 2 months ago was my first ever Sealed League experience with Magic the Gathering. And Sealed League is exactly what I'm here to talk to you about. About 3 months ago, there's no way you would have been able to convince me that I would be currently comfortable with both Magic the Gathering and Pokemon. I'd know how to play them. I'd be, willing to pick up a deck and give it a shot and play through the cards, or that I would even understand or know a format or have an experience. I was intimidated by both of these games. But the reality is, both Magic the Gathering and the Pokemon trading card game have some really cool elements about them. So they're worth experiencing if you like deck building card games, if you've played some board games that have deck building elements and you think you might be interested. That, or if you like the lore and the artwork, I'd certainly say checking out the actual gameplay would be worthwhile. I've had a really good experience playing both Magic and Pokemon. Along with that though, Pokemon and Magic probably have some of the most diverse and loyal fan groups that you'll find across the country or even across the world. It doesn't matter which camp you're in, you're probably going to be able to find a select group of people in your local gaming store, in your local community, even in your church group, whatever network you're part of as a gamer or as part of your social life. I bet there's someone that exists in that circle who either enjoys and already plays Magic or Pokemon or would be easily willing to give it a shot. Both of these card games have amassed a culture around them. I mean, they're iconic and there's a movement and a community that exists. And so if you're doing what I was doing probably 2 years ago, looking for how to engage with a new city that you just moved to, or find friends or network, or just start, having more of a social life than I honestly had, I think these both are excellent stepping stones to become a part of a community that already exists. And I found, at least in my little neck of the woods up here in Washington, DC, the communities around Magic, the community around Pokemon, both have been absolutely fantastic. Welcoming, understanding that I'm new to the game, willing to help me out, and that could have been because of the Sealed League experience that I was going through, the Sealed League that I want to talk to you about. But from my experience, up to this point, I have nothing but positive things to say both about the community and honestly about both of the card games. They're unique in their own way, and maybe later on I'll dive a little bit deeper into what makes them stand out and shine. If you're really curious about how each of these card games plays, I'd suggest checking out some of my other content, either on this Pokemon card game where I had a Pokemon professor come in and teach me exactly how to play the game, or my other Sealed League video that talked about my first experience playing Magic the Gathering. There's also a lot of other great channels out there that cover these worlds, these whole communities a lot more thoroughly than I'm able to. I'm brand new to this market. I'm brand new to these communities. I'm an outside observer that just really wanted to experience the games. And I did so in a way or a fashion that I wasn't familiar with about 3 months ago. It's called a Sealed League. And some of you watching this may already know what a Sealed League is, and so the takeaway for you will be just me reinforcing and encouraging you to find a Sealed League, participate in it, connect with new members, or even if you just want to convince your friend to come play the game with you, I think a Sealed League is the way to approach the game. For me, it's easily the best way to learn and teach. So those of you watching that are coming at this as a brand new audience, the way I would have about 3 months ago, are probably asking the question, what is a Sealed League? What does it take for me to join a Sealed League, start a Sealed League, play in a Sealed League? And I'll try to explain it as thoroughly as I'm able to, but there are going to be some shifting rules or guidelines depending on who you're playing with, what your community's rules are around their own structured Sealed League. So the question remains, what is a Sealed League? About 3 months ago, I wouldn't have known at all. And even now, I know more the principle of the idea of sealed league, and doing research for this video, I realized there's a lot of different rules and applications and expressions of what a sealed league is, both for these two games and also a variety of other deck building or trading card games. So in my experience, a sealed league is where you start with either a few packs of cards or a single kind of pre-release kit. So in here, there's going to be 3 packs of cards. There's going to be a base set that will allow you to start playing the game without having to worry about spending a lot of money on a variety of rare cards, knowing the hundreds of possibilities and deck combinations and different cards that are in the game. Instead, you get to approach it with exactly what you have. The reason the sealed league model is so new gamer friendly and so inviting to someone like me who'd never played Magic or never played Pokemon before is because it allows me to just worry about my deck, especially if I'm playing with someone who knows how to play the game, because they're going to be able to guide me or walk me through exactly how the gameplay goes, the rules, the steps, the variations, and what their specific cards do. And my job will be to build, adapt, and focus on the set of cards that I get here in this deck. That lowers the barrier. I don't have to spend a lot of money. I don't have to worry about a lot of information or research or cards. And if I'm playing or starting a sealed league with kind of my friend group, if I just want to get a group together to play some Magic the Gathering, I don't have to worry about having every card readily available. I don't have to worry about someone investing or spending extra money just to be able to beat me. I hate pay-to-win systems, and one of the problems I had with these trading card games from an outsider's perspective is that oftentimes it felt like it was a pay-to-win system. If I wanted the perfect deck, if I wanted to build, this deck that would be able to defeat every opponent I came across, or even be competitive to some degree, I always felt like I had to spend a lot more money than I was willing to. But I still wanted to experience the games. And so I was standing around at my local game store and they were talking about a sealed league, asking if I wanted to come and join. And they said it was as simple as picking up 3 packs of cards. They provided a bunch of lands, and I still actually have a few of the lands that they provided that I need to return, but this was my original sealed league deck. At my gaming store, you start with 3 packs of Magic the Gathering cards. From there, you build a 30-card deck, lands included, which the store provides, and you get a pack, and you're able to buy a pack every week. So usually it runs for about a month. So by the end of it, you can buy 4 new packs, and then on top of that, every 3 losses that you have, you can add another pack to your deck if you wish, which allows you to adjust the balance or maybe be a little bit more competitive if your first pool just wasn't that good. So it keeps you interested, keeps you engaged with the game without you having to spend a lot of money or even have a extensive knowledge on a lot of cards. This is the first deck that I played with. This is actually the only deck that I've played with. This was back about a month and a half ago when I first tried to do Magic the Gathering Sealed League. And I gotta say, I had a fantastic time. I understand, I'm comfortable with Magic the Gathering now. And I'm definitely looking forward to playing in more sealed leagues. It's easily the format that I currently enjoy the most, especially as a new player. The Pokemon Sealed League is a little bit different. Instead, you're gonna buy one of these build and battle boxes. This one here is a pre-release box, which I can open up and show you what's inside. But basically, you're gonna be building a 40-card deck, so a smaller deck than normal. And inside here, what we're gonna have is a base set. So this is going to be a bunch of core cards that work well together or at least have some sort of theory behind them. For Pokemon, you're going to want to build your deck around 1 or 2 evolution chains. And so this kind of sets up the structure for what a good deck could be or a competitive deck could be with this current release. And then you'll have 4 more cards of Pokemon cards. You'll open these up, you'll build your deck from this combination, looking for 40 cards plus your energy cards, so you won't be using even a majority of the cards you pull. And then you sit down and the same concept applies. You're able to add a new deck every 3 losses, you're able to add a new deck every week, and it usually runs for about a month. And All you have to be aware of is what's inside your deck or what's inside the cards that you pulled. Outside of that, you don't really have to worry about what your opponent has. You don't have to worry about what's in, all of the cards that currently exist that are currently playable. All those things you'll learn as you play the game. This is the deck that I played and ran my very first Pokemon Sealed League experience. And I didn't do very well. My pool wasn't very good. I felt like I couldn't build a cohesive deck, and I wasn't really able to get some of my higher powered cards out and onto the table in an effective way. Part of that was how I built my deck. We sat down and we looked at it afterwards, and there were some tweaks that I could have made, but another part of it was just I didn't pull the best cards immediately. But that's okay. I got to play, I got to experience, I got to learn the game, I got to learn some new cards and interact with this really unique community. And after 3 losses, I was able to go back and I was able to purchase another pack of cards if I wanted, and I did. And I added them to my deck and I adjusted the balance a little bit, and then I was much more competitive. Both of these decks became significantly more competitive the longer I played with them, the more familiar I was with them, maybe adding or changing a card or two, or going back through just the generic pool that I had, figuring out what combinations might have worked slightly better than what I currently had in play. If you've never played Pokemon, if you've never played Magic the Gathering, and you're interested in learning how to play these games, I highly recommend looking into the concept of a sealed league. If you have a local game store or local gaming community close to you, reach out to them and see if they do a sealed league, see if they do an in-house sealed league. And if they do, I highly suggest or I highly recommend that you just go participate, go take part in it. But along with that, the other element that I really want to encourage you to do is if you're a Magic the Gathering player and you're trying to talk some new people into playing the game, maybe start and host your own version of a sealed league. For both of these games, you could get all the lands or all of the energies you need for everyone to use during a sealed league event for about $15 or cheaper if you're looking on eBay or Amazon. Along with that, you could go ahead and order a whole box of cards or a few of these build and battle boxes and split the cost between your friend group and have enough content to learn the game, to always be opening something new every time you've lost a few games. There's a lot more specifics when it comes to how a sealed league is constructed, kind of the rules of the tournament, and different game stores, different communities, different gaming groups handle those rules in a variety of ways. I found some really good Reddit threads talking about starting your own sealed league, some of the rules you might want to follow. I know Pokemon and Magic the Gathering have official rules or official guidelines that each specific company kind of suggests that people follow. But really, if you're starting or hosting your own sealed league, then the rules can be a little bit flexible based on what your gaming group enjoys and how often you're getting together, what you're looking to get out of the experience. But if you're already a player and you want to introduce new people to the game, maybe start and host your own sealed league. Or if you're a new player, if you're someone like me that had no idea what sealed leagues were 2.5 months ago, it's worth taking a look at. I hope I've done a decent enough job at explaining what a sealed league is and why I enjoy it so much and why it's the easiest way to learn how to play both of these games. I'm going to leave a few links in the description below that connect you with the resources you might need in order to start your own sealed league if it's something you're interested in. Whatever the case, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, letting me know if you came across this video because you're interested in playing one of these 2 card games, if you're looking for information around the concept of sealed leagues, or if you've played in a sealed league and you really enjoyed it, and so you just kind of came across my video because you're already a deeply embedded Magic or Pokemon fan. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative or helpful to some degree. I really just wanted to make some sort of video promoting this whole concept that I wasn't aware of and that I'm now really excited about and trying to convince my friends to take part in. Whatever the case, I hope you have a good night. Thank you for joining me. Make sure you do the important thing, which is get out and play some trading card games. We'll see you next time.